In this video, we'll be having a quick look at the new render passes patches. One of the best and the simplest features of this is to apply post-processing after your scene is rendered. So you could apply a LUT or a color grade to your whole project, including the camera texture and any additional elements you may have brought in. The new render passes feature introduces 4 new patches: the scene render pass, the shader render pass, the delay frame patch, and the face extraction render pass. Let's have a look. To demonstrate how all this all works, I've just opened up one of the templates under File, New from Template, Face Mask. And then if you go up to Device, you will see now have these options here for a render pass, default pipeline, create. So just click create. And what that has done is added in just this default render pipeline, which you can then use to add your LUT or add your color grade or affect your scene basically. The difference is that now it will affect everything that you put in there. So then if we just go to demonstrate that, we just go add asset, import from AR library, go to patch assets, shaders, and we'll just chuck in a duotone. I'll import that in, just close that. If I just drag that in, I can now put that between the scene render pass and the device screen output, and that will just link that up. Now that has applied that color grade across the whole scene. You can then tweak that however you want. You can stack these all up, so I will demonstrate how you would do that just by adding in a few other things here. So if I go to add asset, import from AR library, patch assets, shaders, let's chuck a few other things in here. Let's chuck in a mirror. I'm just going to import that in. Go back. I want to also add in a texture distortion. Import that in. And I'll get a checkerboard to control the distortion. So I'm not really trying to make anything in particular here. I'm just wanting to demonstrate how you can layer these effects up, basically. So I'll chuck in this mirror. And I'll just link that up, put that in between. And I'm just going to change which mirror to number 2. That looks pretty good. So you can see I'm starting to build up, and it's all still affecting that face mask which has been applied to the face. So this face mask could be a 3D element that you've added to the face or something like that. And let's chuck in my distortion as well. I'll link that up. And then I need something to control the distortion. That's what the checkerboard is for. I'll link that in there as the distortion texture. And there you can see there's so many things that you can throw at this to really get that control over your scene. Yeah, the most useful thing about this is that you now have this extra level of immersion that you can create with your filters. The next thing I wanted to demonstrate was how to create a motion blur effect using the new delay frame patch. So this is just a blank project. I just come up here to camera and I want to extract out the camera texture to start with. So there it is. I'll drag that across. I then want to link that up to the delay frame patch. So they just search for delay frame, add that in. And now I also want to head up to my device and then click on next to render pass. So I've got my screen output. I need a receiver to receive this delay frame. So if I right click in here and then just write rec receiver, and then the little arrow there next to receiver, and that is receiving this delay frame. And then I want to plug that into my screen output. Can't see anything just yet. I'm going to copy and paste this delay frame, bring it back here because I want to run that through to start with, I run it through a mix. And I want that to actually be the second thing that's getting mixed. And then I want this camera texture again to be the first one. And then I want to plug that one into a shader render pass. So I just write shader and then shader render pass. There it is. Just move that up, get a bit more space. And then that then goes into the render pass of the delay frame. And there is no visible effect just yet. You don't get that until you then just tweak the value in the alpha. So let's start by 0.95. And then you can see it. I'll just expand that out a bit. That's pretty slow, so you can drop that down to say 0.7 for a sort of quicker flow. Or you can really put that right down 0.99. And you can barely even see it working. But it is quite interesting. So these, this is as well, you can also use, let me just put this back so you can just see it a bit more, 0.95, that's better. You can also add in sort of a color grade or anything like that to these as well. If you just go add asset, import from AR library, patch assets, shaders, let's just go with the duotone. Hang on, there we go. Then if I drag in that duotone, the delay frame can go into the texture and then output, and there we go. So that is a very simple motion blur effect using new render passes.